Hello and welcome. I'm Thuli Magubane. We are starting season 3, and you can't believe it. It's been a journey, and people are watching it and they are loving it. And I'm so glad that we're able to continue telling wonderful stories of people in terms of their journey to success. Joining us today is a lady that needs no introduction. If you watch TV, you definitely recognize her face. She's starred in many programs like Chisa, Kazlam, and of course, Generations, The Legacy. Was one of the big shows that she starred in. And of course, she comes from a famous family, and you probably would have watched the reality TV show about her family. But today we get to know the woman who Manaka is and how she got to where she is right now. Manaka, welcome.
Thank you. Yay.
It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So just to start us off, what is one thing about you that would surprise people if they learned that about you?
I think I've said this many, many times. I'm not lesbian. I'm just not, guys.
So that surprises people?
Well, some people, because, I grew up as a tomboy.
Yes.
I've never not had memories of, my play time
Yes.
in childhood and not had boys around me.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that has been mistaken for being a butch lesbian female.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's a stereotype that you had to fight off for a while.
Well, I don't really fight it off,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's your eyes that see, not mine. But nonetheless, I've never really had to fight it because of not also wanting to seem like, I'd be ashamed to be called a lesbian.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, people make their choices.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong if that's the choice one has chosen for themselves. So you grew up around Gauteng, Soweto, the East Rand.
Yeah.
And you come from a family that is well known. So when you were starting out your journey, is this where you wanted to be, in front of the camera, or was there something else that you wanted to pursue?
I mean, as a kid, you always have like different dreams and what you want to be or whatever, So I was that typical child, I wanted to do almost everything, that I liked. So I had dreams, and I still want to pursue some of those dreams. Some have literally fallen off,
Yes.
But there is one dream that I've always wanted to do, and I've always been shunned from doing it because I was female. You know what I mean? I remember Go Holy Cross, one of the first schools I went to. Go Holy Cross was a Catholic school,
Yes.
in Soweto. And the girls were doing sewing,
Sewing, yeah.
and the boys were doing woodwork.
Hey, yeah.
And I wanted to do woodwork.
Yes,
'Cause
yeah.
it's something I related,
Yes,
to. I don't
yeah.
know why.
Because girls had to do home economics.
Yes,
and boys woodwork.
Yeah. So, although I'm very, very, alive in the kitchen, that's my place of comfort.
Yes.
But I wanted to do woodwork, like on a serious tip. I
Yeah.
wanted to do woodwork, and me being denied that, I never understood why.
Actually, it was funny. I was having a conversation about this with someone. I was the first girl in my school, in high school, to actually do technical drawing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to do home economics. I can
Yes,
sew, I
yes,
can cook, but I want to
yes.
become an architect. So I want to
Yeah.
do technical drawing. And so the school had to have a meeting and decide if they will allow me.
To do it.
And then they allowed me. So that year I was the only girl. And then the following year, more girls were doing technical
Yeah.
drawing and then
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
woodwork as well. And then I think by the third year, they opened it up to everyone. And boys could now also do home economics.
economics, yeah.
Because some of them really need home economics.
Yeah.
So,
No, they do.
so they can learn
Yeah.
the basics. So talking about school, so similar to me, I went to 8 schools growing
Yeah,
up.
me
So it
too.
meant that you were always the new girl
Yeah.
in class.
You don't have childhood friends, do you?
Not
That you stuck
many.
around.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I know.
So
that,
what did you learn from that experience that has helped you to become who you are today?
attachment.
Or lack of?
Yeah, but attachment doesn't take you anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
okay.
That's what it taught me. That we get attached so much because we are around the same people
True.
a lot, and we forget about the outside. You know what I mean? And what it afforded us is that attachment is not as deep as we think it is. You know what I mean? So I don't have attachment issues, but I do sometimes wish
You had those childhood
I
friends,
had, yeah, you know. I mean, there's one that is still around, and you know, she sticks around so strongly. You know, we grew up together. Go DK.
Yeah.
And they were ahead of us of the multiracial school thingy. I was still in the township, you know, and she, like, her name is Kosi. That's my homie, man. You know what I mean? Of
At least you
all
can
the
look back at
childhood,
someone,
yeah,
yes, yeah.
of all the childhood friends I've experienced or I've had, that's the only one that stuck around.
Wow.
You know, so I haven't forgotten, like
And you
But-
think, where is so and so?
yes, like Teola, man, Teola guy. That was my first male friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier about male friends, you know, that growing up, you were a tomboy. And so, today, as a woman in this industry, not only do you really want to be behind this, in front of the mic, you want to be behind, the scenes. And that's where
Yes.
the real action is, and that's
Yeah.
where the real influence is. Do you find it difficult that for women to be moving into that space because it's still so male-dominated?
Well, now, no.
Yeah.
But back then, yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm sure there's still a bit of struggles there here and there, but it's not as rife as it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, so we are gaining dominance, and we don't want to dominate. That's the
True.
thing that males are getting wrong with us. They think we want to dominate.
Yeah.
Let me tell you where we can dominate, guys. Kompeto. Sitting in the
Dominatrix.
all we want to do is just be par.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We want to help where you're failing. And in most cases, that is seen as dominance. You know what I mean? And it's so weird coming from people who have dominated for such a long time. You know,
It's not
to
even
see,
long time, it's forever.
yeah, to see us coming up and wanting to help out, wanting to help out as dominance. It's so weird.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
In your journey in becoming an actress and all of that, what role has luck played in your success?
I don't believe in luck. Yeah. I don't believe in. I believe in timing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're at the right place at the right time, you know, certain things will happen. You know, and if you're not there, you know, it'll miss you. You know, so being eager enough to show up, you know, has literally gotten me into spaces I never thought I'd get into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a blessing to wake up every morning and see the sun. But it's a curse for you not to want to do something about that day.
True, yeah.
You know, so if you're not going to show up, you'll miss opportunities. You know what I mean? While others are showing up, they're also missing opportunities as well. You know what I mean? Because you
True,
can't be
yes,
everywhere at the same time.
true, yeah.
So, and I imagine if you're not doing anything at all and you're not even showing up, and then you're going to say, I'm a party. It's not. Take responsibility and say, I'm not showing up
Yeah.
as much as I should be. Yeah.
And what quality do you have that has stood you in good stead and ensured that you receive the kind of recognition and success that you've achieved?
Longevity. I hate saying that. I want other
Yes.
people to say it about me, but you know, sometimes you have to pat yourself at the back and give yourself a high five. But longevity, you
Yes.
know. So I've worked extremely hard to stick around, you know, and without fighting anyone, without, you know, being aggressive about it, you know.
Yes,
So I think it all boils down to just showing up, you know what I mean? And the more you show up and the more you gain these opportunities, the more your longevity, you know, will become something to be reckoned with, yeah.
So you mentioned longevity. So in terms of reinventing yourself, how often did you have to do that to ensure that you have longevity in the industry?
So I don't have a particular list of characters I'd like to play. I want to play everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, that's limitless. Unlike limiting yourself to, you know, only want to play the good black guy. You know what I mean? So there's bad guys to be played as well.
True.
You know.
Typecasting, it happens a lot.
A lot, yeah. So I made sure that at least in the beginning, if I played a Zulu character now, the next role should not be Zulu, should be Sotho or something,
Yes, yeah.
and so I did that for a bit. I mean, you can only do that like 11 times because we only have 11 languages in the country.
Yes.
So that being one of the things, and just taking on different characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't played as much as I have wanted to. I still dream of playing more.
Yes.
When the acting bug bit me, I was so in denial for the longest time, and now I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So why were you in denial? Was it something that you thought you wouldn't succeed in?
It
was not part of your plans.
It wasn't something that I was even thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just kept on coming at me, Like, I'll make an example. The person who really discovered my talent was Memo Rapedi. She was married to the late. She's also late,
Yeah.
She was married to Ntata Muhlamme, at the time, and we had just moved to Johannesburg,
Yes.
CBD, as a family. Before my brothers were born, so it's just us three, us girls only, just the three of us and my parents. So only now, when I think back, I realize how much this artistry thing has been following me. You know what I mean? They were a family of artists.
Okay.
The husband was acting and the wife was, an actor as well. Their kids were not yet they were kids,
Very young, yes.
And I just kept on seeing people that I have seen in that little black box that my dad bought. And I was like, oh, okay.
They're
So
for
you don't get
real.
inside that, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
So until she came to my mom and dad's and asked them if I could come and, play her daughter in a music video, yeah, Dalom
Yes,
Kids, you know what I
yeah.
mean? So that was the first acting gig I did. I did get paid for that,
Yes.
So life went. And then music guys came through and asked my mom and dad if we could come and, help a lady, back up her tracks and whatever. And she was, an elderly lady, and we were the kids. So the backing vocalist was just us, the kids.
Yes.
So we toured the country. To us, we were just having fun, you know what I mean? So the acting thing just kept on at it until I gave in.
You realize it's your destiny.
Yeah, let me just adhere to this
Yes,
calling,
yeah.
and see where we go,
And what do you think is the biggest myth around success?
People think that they can go around the corner and get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People think that they can wake up and get it. Like, guys, there's no shortcut. If you want to be known as somebody who is successful in a particular field or a particular something that you're good at, you have to put in the work. It takes a lot of work to get recognition. Without the work, you're nothing.
How many hours do you think you've put into your craft? There's the theory about 10,000 hours to master something.
Amanzi amancane ke lawo sis. Amanzi 10,000.
Yes.
I'm sure I'm about to get to billion hours. Nini ngisebenza.
Yes.
But when doing it, you're not counting these hours.
Hours,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
yeah.
So judging from where I started at a very young age, and to now. No, guys, it can't be 10,000.
It's definitely more. Was
It's
there
way
a
more.
time in your life where you were working so hard, you were probably getting around like maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep per night?
It's still happening. It's still happening. There's no rest for this one.
So how do you manage? I mean, because obviously you've got other responsibilities. We're going to get into the family just now.
Yes.
And you're working, and obviously you need to be present for everyone in your life, whether it's your colleagues, your family.
Yeah.
Okay, so what keeps you going?
My children.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, my
Yeah.
children and the fact that my mom and dad are still alive.
Yes.
I still feel responsible for them. and my grandmother as well, you know. So those 6 human beings in my life, including a grandchild, you know, so 7 people in my life. My siblings are winging it, you know,
Yeah.
they can take care of themselves. I'm happy about that. But I've got my mom, my dad, my grandmother, and my children, and my grandson,
Yeah.
you know, to continuously want to do more so that I can still provide.
Yes,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
And then in the industry, disappointments. I mean, I think people don't realize, especially when you're starting out, how many auditions you have to
Yeah.
get to before you get that yes.
Yeah.
So, how do you deal with disappointment?
I can't relate.
Ah,
I
okay.
really, I'm not going to lie. I can't relate to the disappointment part because the
Yeah.
first ever audition I did, I got the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the disappointment didn't come as a shocker to me because, listen, I wasn't welcomed that easily into the industry. Apparently, I was a threat. I don't know why. I was this Rasta girl who had dreadlocks, was not eating meat. Yeah, I've always been loud, but I mean, I've got my quiet moments, you know. But a lot of females were threatened by my presence, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Where I come from, a school of, let's go
Yes.
audition. If, you know, we go, then either you and I can get it. You know, I be him or wena.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so I've been that supportive structure. I don't know why I was feared so much when I don't even trust my talent sometimes. You know what I mean?
So
And
talking
this is
about that, I mean, did you land a role and you thought, am I going to be able to pull off this character?
I knew I was.
Yeah.
I'm very confident in myself, you know. Sometimes it doesn't show, but I'm extremely confident in myself, you know. The only reason why I believe I got that first audition was because I paid attention to the script
Yes.
and the synopsis. It said she had a name, but everybody else knew her as the girl in the red hat. So why not bring a red hat to the bloody audition?
Yes.
Just to
And
show
then
that,
you
you know.
understood the character.
Yeah. You know, to you know, showcase that. I was the only girl there with the red hat that paid attention to the fact that she was
Known
as the girl in the red hat.
Yeah.
You know, before they knew her name. You know what I mean? So it's little details like that. Just because you're already in because me, I wasn't already in, right? I was about to come back. You know. Just because you've been on screen for the longest time, don't be so sure that every role is yours, because it's
yeah.
not.
There could be a newbie.
You can't play everybody.
Yes.
You know what I
there
mean?
could be
Yeah.
a newbie that can take it from you.
Yeah. And also being untrained,
Yeah.
you know, probably didn't instill fear, you know, in me. Yeah.
No, because, you know, when you mentioned that people were threatened by you, I just thought of, I don't know why, but I just thought of Dreamgirls. There was Beyonce, who was the big star.
Yes.
And Jennifer Hudson coming in as a nobody.
Exactly.
And she stole the show.
You see, so comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, when you are so comforted in your own star that you refuse to see the stars around you, you'll have jitters when a star arrives.
That's
know.
that's very true.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess this is a boring question for an actor. A role or character that you know that you wish was written just for you, what would it be?
I always go back to, you know, What's Eating Gilbert Grape. You see what Leonardo did for that role.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I think he played Gilbert. It's been a long time. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But I watched that movie over and over and over again, not realizing that that was Leonardo DiCaprio. I was still a kid, you know, and I loved Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
I knew I had posters of him in my bedroom. You know, but it took me about 5 times watching that film because I love it so much. It's like
Yes,
Braveheart, you know.
yeah.
Those are films that I can watch over and over again. But it took me about the 5th time watching to realize, Wuti, hey, man. Leonardo.
Yes,
That is
yeah.
how much
Yeah,
he
that's
had
it.
convinced me
Yes, yeah.
that he's that crippled somebody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm still waiting for that kind of challenge,
Mm.
you know, to play somebody who's physically challenged or mentally challenged, you know, in a way. I mean, I guess I've done mentally challenged because Uzimzim was like,
Yeah, she was an interesting one.
she was a murderer. She was a serial killer of children, you know what I mean? So,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
So we've got a fun feature called, the Fire 5 questions.
Okay.
So it's just quick questions just to kind of get to know you better. And so answer the first answer that comes to your mind. Just,
Okay.
Give us that. Don't spend too much time on this. So what would you rather be on, the big screen or the small screen?
Small screen.
Okay. Do you like surprises?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your biggest weakness?
I can't say.
Ooh.
I can't say, not here.
Must be a good one. How do you like your eggs? Runny or sunny side up?
I like them soft.
Oh, I can't do soft. I think they said as a kid, they must have served me too many soft eggs.
Soft eggs.
I can't do soft eggs.
Yeah.
And what's the oldest item of clothing that you have? And how long have you had it?
That would have to be, and I can't find it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Would have to be my grandmother's hat that I took from, when she passed.
Mm.
Whoever has that hat, you best bring it back.
You're missing it.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
big time, yeah.
On the plane, are you an aisle or window girl?
Window.
Okay. Why? What do you want to see?
I'd like to see myself die. I'd like to see where I'm going when I'm dying.
And then lastly, what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
It was on a man, I can't say it.
Okay.
We'll keep it at that.
This is PG rated. All right. I'm sure you've been enjoying the success rate. We're trying to grow our family, make the circle bigger. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure that you subscribe, you like, and of course, share with your friends and family. So talking about challenges, this is a very famous one. I mean, you'd landed a role in Isitingo. Months into it, you find out you're pregnant.
Yes.
And then they decide they don't want to write it into the
Yes.
character, and you're replaced. How did you deal with that? I mean, you're still young.
Well, they didn't decide they didn't want to write it because they gave to be the storyline I left them with. I said, write it in,
Yes.
and then we'll get rid of the child. You know what I mean? So we don't have to have a baby on set.
Yes.
But I wasn't that clued up then. It really felt a bit awkward and sore, and I felt betrayed because I didn't even know when my last day was. I found out on the day that was my last day. That's how much they hated me on that set.
Sure.
Look at me now.
But how did you deal with that as a young person? Did you have, the skills and the tools to
No.
deal with something like that?
I think I had the mentality to deal with it, having grown up as a tomboy, there's a lot of flack that I got. There is something that still torments me even today. Thinking about it brings tears to my eyes. I was in grade 1 for crying out loud. I was playing the frots with 2 of my friends from school, and they just happened to be boys. So we were playing before the school bell rang. And the next thing I get called, into the principal's office. Then I'm questioned. Oh no, the 3 of us get called. Then I'm the only one that's being questioned in this, principal's office. Why they're standing right here. I'm saying we're playing touches. And I mean, it's a game that I play even, at home with my other male friends.
Yes.
And they told them to go.
Oh,
And then somebody was sent to go and call 4 high school boys. 2 from grade 12 and 2 from grade 11. So the grade 11 boys held my legs.
Oh, no.
Right? And the grade 12 boys held my hands. One had a limb. Each one had a limb. And I was given 20 lashes gambopo.
Oh, my goodness.
Horse pipe.
Sure.
That was the most painful thing I'd ever gone through in any school. Even till today, I wish I could go and ask them again, why did you beat me again?
Yes, yeah.
Why? If it was about playing, we should have all been beaten. The bell hadn't, rung. we were still playing, and for me, it was innocent play. So it's adults that instill these funny thoughts into kids. Because if I was
you were not thinking anything untoward.
I was just playing. You know what I mean? So then you want to question young girls that turn up to become, loose girls because now you've kept them away from this. Natural thing of just being kids and just playing.
Yes,
you understand? So that thing even today traumatizes me when I think about it.
And what in terms of that sounds like double standards to me.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And in the industry, have you encountered double standards, especially when it comes to women?
Have.
Tell us a bit.
Yeah, I have. I remember I got twice called into the producer's office twice for two different men sexually harassing me at work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to mention their names. One is late, and when he died, we had spoken about it, and we had forgiven each other for it. So one was in front of the camera, the other one was behind the scenes. Same production,
yes.
Right? So the one I swore at, and I literally, I'll tell you what I said to him. I said, after he had done what he had done, I said to him, you go and tell, because he had asked me, why am I being so uptight? And I said, you go and ask your Queen Elizabeth. So because he was English, he went upstairs and reported that, not what he did.
Yes.
Reported what I said, and I got into trouble for that. And I told them why I had said that, and I wasn't taken seriously. Tension. So, and the second time, it was another guy from the same production.
Sure.
And the following day, I came late to work. And when they asked me why am I late and why do I not know my lines, I told them that this guy did this and did that, and so I had to walk home.
Sure.
Because I didn't want, because he was part of my lift club, and he'd always refuse me giving him money for petrol, and I would always tell the attendant, "Faka klipa extra," you know what I mean? So that my contribution is there. So he decided to one day sexually harass me, not assault, but harass me, in a very, very black way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And he chucked me out of his car in a hood I've never been to.
Sure.
Luckily, I was in the East Rand, so I walked home. I just had to follow my gut. And I went past one of the most ruthless and dangerous parts of the East Rand, praying while I was walking. The sun was like literally going down just right behind me. And it was getting dark and darker and darker. And I got home kama 10.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And we had left work at about like around 5. I had arrived around 5.
Sure. Wow.
So it took me that long to get home, and the following day I didn't know my lines. Yeah. And I told them what happened.
They didn't take you seriously.
No, they did not.
So talking about that, I mean, there's a lot that happens in the industry. You hear about the casting couch and things like that.
Oh, yes.
And there was at some point, the Me Too industry also developing locally. What has happened to that?
I have no idea. I have never been part of that.
People have mentioned things have happened to them.
And things just died down. You see, it boils down to the truth of the fact of the matter that every female knows a rape victim, but no man knows a rapist. Their own friends. You know what I mean? So that's how deep it is. Men protect each other, Women support one another.
True.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what happened to Me Too. I guess the fact that, when you say Me Too and you don't have proof, it's as good as you not saying anything.
And I mean, the industry almost expects women to sexualize themselves in order to get ahead.
Yes.
I was just, I'm sure you came across this recently, the whole Tyler and Asha
How
thing.
disgusting.
I mean, your thoughts on that? Yes, we've
How
heard disgusting already. Yes.
For the world and that older man who shares a name that sounds like the American president, Joe what?
Joe, yeah.
Now, that guy...
The Joe Biden guy.
Yes, that man with so much gray hair on his head and his beard, not knowing about his pubes. That entire man
Yes.
spoke so low of Tyler, of a female not wanting to,
To be ground.
yeah, you know what I mean? And then he says he doesn't care what the reason is.
Yeah.
Let's put that reasoning yabona gore ba re she has a man. She's from South Africa. I really truly wish that Americans could respect the fact that there's other cultures besides American culture. Now,
But
here,
then that's what they said. She doesn't understand American culture.
which she doesn't have to. Nobody needs to adhere to British culture or American culture when they're not adhering to our culture standards. You know what I mean? Asha, umalume, where we come from. Zulu, if you don't understand, you like umalume. And if you want me to say it in English, you're an uncle to Tyler.
Yes.
We don't dance like that with our uncles here at home. So I wish this gets to Joe Biden or whatever his name is. My ninja, where we come from, you are a grandfather. We don't do that with our grandfathers. You are an uncle to people who are my age. We still don't do things like that with, men like you. And for you to blame this young woman, y'all just go ahead and say you hate Tyler, man. Just go ahead and say it. Because Beyonce's time is almost over.
They do. And I wish someone, okay, I'm giving someone a business idea and I'll buy the t-shirt. Say, I'm an uppity African. I want
Yes,
one.
please. Yes, please.
And I'll wear that one.
With the nose this high. We've got pride now. We've always had pride, but now our pride is pride. You know what I mean? So I feel very disrespected by American culture who does not want to, understand that there's other cultural standards around them.
Talking about culture and just the other industries as well, would you want to work in the US?
I've never had dreams of going to Hollywood. I have never. I've always been surrounded by friends that have such dreams. I've never, for once, adopted their dreams. I know where I want to go. I want to make it big in my continent. I want to make it big in my country. I want to make it big here at home.
Yes, yeah.
And if they want me, they better come and get me there, and then bring me back home.
And guess what? Yes, compared to Mam Koni, I mean, Mam Koni got her break quite late in life in terms of Hollywood production. So, hey, there's still room for you.
You know what I mean? As long as you're going to bring me back home. I don't believe in the American dream because I believe in where I'm at, which is the African dream. You know what I mean? I believe so much in my continent that I don't have time to spare for any other continent I don't live in but mine.
And so what's next for Manaka?
World domination. I'm kidding. I don't have any dreams of taking over the world.
Even just outside of the industry, what are some of the dreams? You mentioned you've got other dreams you still want to pursue.
Yes. I still want to go and do that thing that they denied me to do when I was in primary school.
So you want to go and make furniture?
I want to do carpentry, And when I mentioned this to my dad, and he said, your great-grandfather was a carpenter, I was like,
now you tell me.
No wonder why, So I still want to do that. And besides just honoring him and honoring my child self, I'm an guys. Like you walk into almost every single home and it's almost like the same. So the things that I see that I want, I see them overseas, and I'm not going to pay $200,000 to get something shipped here. So I'd rather, go reignite that dream and, do custom stuff for myself.
So if you started, do you have a name for your brand? What would you call your furniture brand?
Well, Manaka is always perfect.
Okay. Nothing fancy.
Hey, yeah, Le Planca la Manaka.
So it rhymes. Lipalanka la Manaka.
I don't know. I don't have a name yet, but
Yes,
I think my name will just work perfectly well. Yeah.
And then in terms of the future, I mean, you retiring. I mean, what does that look like for you? What would you see yourself doing at retirement?
I don't see myself retiring. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was brought up by a working mother. Both my grandmothers were working women. My grandmother, who's still alive now, is on pension, and the one who's passed, my dad's mom, may her soul continue to rest in peace. Uh, she, although wasn't, doing the work anymore, in terms of being employed, but she was still doing her work. She was a midwife.
Yeah.
One of the best you could ever find in the country, and yeah, God bless her soul, man. The many kids that came through the passage through, onto her hands. Yeah. And my grandmother who's alive was in hospitality, you know what I mean? So it's something that I also did, So I guess I've got a bit of everyone.
So Manaka will be working until
she
will put
dies.
her in the box.
Yeah, until she dies.
And talking about retirement, I mean, I think we've seen this of late. People who started in the industry maybe 20 years ago, some years ago, haven't been working as frequently.
Yeah.
Suddenly putting out, calls on social media
It's
to
sad.
be funded. How
It's
do we
sad.
change that? How do
It's-
people prepare
It's
for the
really sad.
later years?
I would like to give some advice to my fellow artists. Before you go out there and shoot a video and asking people for money, think about the layman. Think about the ordinary man who can't do that. As sad as it is, we really have to be responsible for our finances. It's a very, very hard. I mean, the last time I was able to save was when I was on Isidingo.
Yeah.
It's very hard to save. Putting myself in their shoes, should something like that happen to me, I would not want to be asking people for handouts. I didn't get in, got the handouts, and I'm not going to bow down, got the handouts. You know what I mean? If push comes to shove, listen, before you even thought there was television,
Yeah.
you had dreams.
True, yeah.
There's things you wanted to do. Reach out to that child and still try and get. I'm reaching out right now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's things I want to do in the industry, like direct or produce. But for me, those are dreams because I got into the industry.
Yes, yeah.
It's not something I grew up dreaming. I want to be a director. No. I wanted to do woodwork. I wanted to, own a business. I wanted, those things. I'm trying to reach out right now so that I don't end up having to make videos and do or create GoFundMe accounts. If you see my name with a GoFundMe account, you must understand that I'm raising funds for other people
Okay.
and not myself.
Yeah.
I was brought up by people that always took people in,
Yes.
that were helping other people, so I've got that in me. So when I'm asking you for money, it will not be for me. It will be for those people that need that money more than I think I do. So that's why I want to go out there and, reach in that basket of mine right there at the bottom and continue with the dreams that I wanted
Yeah.
to do. You know what I mean? Maybe that might just be, my retirement plan. Who knows? I don't know, But we all know that you can't play young girl forever. You can't play married woman forever. You can't play granny forever. At some point, you're going to have to spread your wings, either go behind the scenes or go do something else.
True, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that time does come. I mean, who still sees that lady who played Stephanie on television?
True,
You know what I'm trying to say? I'm sure she's doing other things right now. Give her more reach, warning us, go to TikTok or whatever, Instagram, about people and fake accounts and whatever. So, yeah, reach that basket that you left when you were a kid.
And parting shots on success, what would you like to live with our audience when it comes to success?
There is no carbon copy of you, so you can't be a carbon copy of somebody else. So be you, stay true to yourself, and stay true to your dreams as well. Just because now we get, we become lawyers and we become this and that, actors or producers or whatever, we are being warned. We're living in a world right now where we are being warned of side hustles. Have a side hustle. Have a bloody side hustle, guys, and maybe your journey to success is not just be.
Yes,
It's will not just be me showing my face on screen. It could be could be waiting for me somewhere out there, and I haven't just been paying attention to it. So follow your dreams, guys, and stick true to yourself. We don't all dream to make a lot of money, but we all dream to be successful in whatever we want to do. So I think truth is the most important thing that I will leave your viewers with.
I like that. Thank you, Manaka.
You're
Stay true to
welcome.
yourself, hey?
Yeah.
So if you've enjoyed that conversation, please make sure that you click on the like button and also the share. Make sure everyone gets to listen to this conversation. It's been great. And I'm looking forward to having more conversations with you in future.